Live from the BBR studios, it is LineLocked, but now with a twist.
We are official.
We're official. We are the new official podcast of the Nostalgia Drag Racing League. What do you think about that?
It's an honor.
It's
really an honor. I'm glad
big
they're
honor.
getting on board, and we're going to actually, probably have better and more content now because we get to pull in a bunch of cool things from the national. It will be eventually. I'm telling you the way it's going. The Nostalgia Drag Racing League. So I'm pretty excited. What about you?
Yeah, man. There's over 350 drivers that races with us, and we can talk to every one of them.
Every one of them.
That's at least 350 episodes, right?
We hope. Well, at a minimum, we're going to have 6 on deck here very shortly, just from the class winners.
Yes. And there are 6 classes in the NDRL. There is Pro 70, 750, Pro Gas, Pro Comp, Modified Production, which are the stick shifters. And then who am I missing there? NSS. I wasn't missing them. The NSS, the Nostalgia Superstock League, they came and joined us this year in the 2025 season, and our numbers shot up. Cars significantly. Yeah. Those guys, I mean, they are by the book, and if you've never seen them race, they are some of the coolest cars because they're like full-bodied cars. Yep. Large cars like grandma and grandpa used to drive.
The big wampum.
Big wampum, that's right.
One of my favorite cars of those guys. I mean, Doug Duell's got wagons for days.
For days. I think he's got a car in every class, don't he?
Probably. He might as well. But we got them. And then this year, just following year, 2026, we got another class. So we'll have even more people to talk to.
And I'm really excited about that class. I'm a big advocate of that class, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. We have a very, very special guest on today for our very first NDRL podcast. And I think it's just goes without saying that the person that we needed on here was the guy that was really leading the charge on the NDRL for the past however many years. He'll tell us it's been a lot of time. Butch Hill. He is our president of the Nostalgia Drag Racing League, and I'm very excited to have him on there. And he's going to call up here in a minute.
Yep.
Ring.
Wait. Is there a button for that?
There is.
We haven't been in the saddle for a while.
It's been a long time.
Is it that one?
Is it this one?
I don't know.
Nope,
that's not one.
There it is. Hey, Butch, what's up, buddy? Oh, wait. Oh, we haven't even answered yet.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, buddy, what's up?
Hey, it's good. I got my dial phone out and I was ringing it there. So you know what that sounds like.
We probably need to update our sound. At least put like a button label.
Yeah, label.
So
yeah,
we know what's going on down here. But we'll get there again. We'll just, like I said, we haven't been in the saddle for a while, but we're happy to have you. Happy to have you.
Hey, thanks for having me on here, and thanks for stepping up and doing this basically this NDRL podcast. You two guys are perfect at it. Do a great job, and welcome. Thank you for letting me be part of it.
Yeah, no problem. Hey, can you go back and just kind of tell us a little bit about how NDRL got its wings, how we got motivated to go forward and stuff? I know you've been around for a long time. You weren't the one that exactly started it, but I know you were there at the beginning. So can you give us a little rundown?
Yeah. I was back in, this goes back into the Good Guys days. And everybody was racing in the Good Guys events. And at the Good Guys events, there was the NMPCA. And they were, a guy there was running that. And we were running in that. And then things were starting to change. And a couple of the guys, and I can actually name them, Al Robbins and, let's see, Mark. Hold on.
Mark Vaught.
Yeah, Mark Vaught. Let me back this up. Al Robbins and Mark Vaught got together, and then they brought Troy Wilson in as the president. And so they basically started it, and saw a future and putting, Nostalgia Drag Racing a little bit of higher pedestal. And then, so Troy was basically the president for, I'm just guessing and spitballing here, probably 9 years.
Oh, wow.
And really took the reins and ran it up the flagpole. And then, Dave Mullen was the vice president at that point, and I was helping out a little bit, throughout those years. And then Dave became the president, and then I became the vice president. And then Dave did that for a couple of years, and then I became the president. And now I think we're 3 or 4 years into that, probably 3 years into that, and going on to the 4th year now as president. And so that's kind of how it all went down. And it basically, we seen a growth back in the day that it needed to be a different and bigger and broader organization, and have more substance to it, if you will. And that's kind of how it became. And it's really something that good guys had racing at all these events back in the day. And but you know, they just kind of let it go at one time. And then this is when NPCA came in, and then that lasted a few years, and then NDRL struck their style, and what they got, what you see today. And you know, the makeup today is Pro 7.0. That's our fastest class. We got Pro 7.5. We got Pro Comp. We got Pro Gas. We got Modified Production. Get on the shifter cars. And you got NSS, Nostalgia Super Stocks. And we do have some exciting news for 26. We're adding a class. And I don't know if you want to talk about it now, or we can talk about it.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. Well, you know, for years, well, let me just get to it. We're adding nostalgia gassers. And so, you know, for years we've been running with straight axle Mafia, good friends of NDRL. There was a time when we were even talking about somehow combining those two organizations together, and they run a lot more races in a local track area than NDRL does. And NDRL does, you know, they were focused on a six race program through May through October. And so it really came down to negotiating with Joey Briggs and the guys over at Straight Axle, and Shane Lyle as well. And you know, kind of making a family fit here. And so the real strength here is, or should I say, the real reason this probably got to where we are today, adding this class, is these guys have been following NDRL and going at the same events, running a 6-race program, along with their 14-race program. And the moral of the story is NDRL has a lot of perks, you know, that come along, you know, being number one qualifier, getting trips to go at the end of the year if you win all of the races. All kinds of things that, you know, oil's winning, and just it goes on and on, sponsorship stuff. And they couldn't play in that arena, you know, because it wasn't part of NDRL. So it was kind of a bummer, you know, for the straight axle guys to not be able to reap some of them awards that we have. So we decided, hey, let's really, not much is going to change other than the name. For those 6 events, Straight Axle Mafia will continue to go on as they normally do, and they'll continue to come to these races. And some people will still call it Straight Axle Mafia class. It doesn't matter. The real reason is now they can get into these fun things that we have sponsors that throw some stuff at us to get attention. So that's the exciting part.
I'm excited. They're one of my favorite groups of people to hang out with after racing's done. They always have a good time with us, and arguably some of the cooler cars. Granted, they're not as fast as the 7.0 cars, nothing like that, but they have a crowd following that people love watching that style racing, and it's going to be a really great addition to the group of guys we already have. I think it really rounds out our program to where, you know, we could fit just us as an event and have some crowd participation, and the track gets paid, we get paid, and everything's good. You know, I really think this is a really good step forward. I'm excited about it.
I would second that.
Yeah. We got a third over here.
Oh my gosh. I've been a major advocate of gassers ever since I started racing, which hasn't been very long. But I know as a kid, you know, going to the drag strip, you see those cars and they got that front end up, and you know, before I was even born, they were racing those type of cars. And it's very nostalgic for me. I think it's a perfect fit for them to be a part of NDRL and have our own class now. I think it's great.
Yeah, one of the first cars that I really got attuned to was that Blue Bayou car. We've talked about it on the podcast before. We've actually had the previous owner, because he sold it already.
Oh, did he?
A car on here, and our guy owned the car on here. And that was part of the reason that I even started doing what I'm doing, is because of the gasser group. So, it's really grassroots. It's affordable for those guys. And it's a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited to have them.
Yeah,
for sure. But let's run down. Let's run down a little bit. Just
go ahead.
Let's just go through the classes, just in case anybody's popping in here that's never heard of the Nostalgia Drag Racing League. Pro 7.0 is a door car or dragster, and you just got to run a 7.0 index and a quarter mile. And that's one thing we haven't talked about or addressed yet. Is the majority of our classes, our quarter mile classes, with the exception of straight axle, they will be our nostalgia gasser. It's going to take a little while to get
used to that.
Yeah. But everything else is a quarter mile running. And so you have to run a 7.0 index. However you do that 7.0, that's up to you, right? Center steer, it don't matter as long as you get 7.0.
And of course, the dragsters are front engine dragsters.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Everything's got to be front engine. Period correct is what we call it, because obviously you're not going to be able to take a 1979 dragster and run it 7 flat and be legal. So it's got to be period correct to what we're trying to do, which is all. It has to look the part, right? And some people make some arguments about, well, they had a rear engine dragster and said, well, they may have, but that's not period correct. So 750s.
Well, the real problem with that, just to dance on that a little bit, let's say we opened up rear engine dragsters to that class. You know what? I mean, I don't know hardly anybody that's running that car today.
Yeah.
They've moved on to the more modern rear engine dragster.
Yeah.
So, the old nostalgia front dragsters still exist, and they're peppered all over the country. Yeah. The rear engine dragsters just don't seem to show up at those events anymore. They're mostly, museum pieces.
Yeah, for sure. And arguably, what we're trying to do is give us a place to play. So we don't want to have rear engine dragsters in our arena. They got plenty of places to go race. This is for we're supposed to be nostalgic. So that's what 7.0 is about. 750 is more the same, just a 750 index. So just a little bit slower, still pretty badass though, I'd say. Mm-hmm. Then we have the next step would be Pro Comp, which is kind of our catch-all to everything else that's a little bit slower. And they run on different indexes from 8.0 all the way to 11.0 on half seconds. Is that about?
And no door cars though.
No door cars, but it's the fall in for everything that you couldn't get into 750 and 7.0.
A lot of altereds.
A lot of roadsters.
Mm-hmm. Center steer cars, left steer cars. Yeah. All open, roasters like you're saying, and so exactly, it's a good class.
It's a great. It's to me, it's one of the more interesting classes because everything is so different. Mm-hmm. Granted, all the other ones we're about to talk about, they have a lot of variety as well, but it's different. There's also some front engine dragsters in comp. Vern, our buddy Vern, he runs it. Yeah. There's some others as well. The Hooker Boys, they run it. Then next up we have Pro Gas, and this is kind of where the originality of NDRL ends, and then we start beginning on to the growth. But Pro Gas is any door car pre-79, and it goes on indexes from 8 to 11 as well, half a second. Mm-hmm. And it's anything that has a door that's not right-hand steer. But pretty much it.
Yep.
You can run on about any fuel you want, except for nitro. I don't think we allow that.
No, actually, we used to have a guy in 7.0 several years back. He was running, I don't know the percentage of nitro, but he was running it.
Yeah, he may have been running like M5 or something that just has a sprinkle of nitro in it.
He had a blown Donovan Hemi in it.
Okay.
And he ran I don't know if it's 50% nitro or whatever, but he was a 210 mile an hour car.
Jeez.
And I don't know if you remember it. It was red, white, and blue. It was called Old School. The dragster. Beautiful car. Beautiful car.
All right. So after Pro Gas is our next class, which is modified production, and that stemmed from Pro Gas cars. Mm-hmm. We had a bunch of stick cars in it, and they're like, we want our own class. Mm-hmm. So a couple years ago, we made their own class, and it started off a little bit small, and now it's grown into something quite big. They're a very respectable class now. They 25 to 30 cars at most events, and that's doing pretty good. It's the same kind of rules as Pro Gas. With the exception of you got to have the man pedal. And they do the same indexing half seconds or quarter seconds on them.
They do it on quarter seconds.
Quarter seconds.
Quarter seconds.
But they have the similar. Is a 880 still the fastest, or is it
875?
875 is the fastest.
I'm sorry, 850. We made that change.
Yeah, quadruple A.
Yeah. So we made it. 850 is the fastest class, and it dribbles down into the 12s.
Cool. And then the next class is Nostalgia Superstock, which we picked up this year. That kind of happened out of a dissolution of another group that had this class, and they needed a place to run. So they called on Butch and said, "Hey, we got a bunch of cars. We want to race. Do you have anything for us?" And Butch said, "Well, hell yeah, we do." And we created Nostalgia Superstock, and Doug Dool's heading that particular group up, and he's done a fantastic job. They get a very good turnout almost every race.
Mm-hmm.
One of the races I saw, they had 70 something cars.
Wow.
Or maybe 69 cars. Maybe 7 cars. 6, 7. That's for the young kids out there. And nonetheless, that's a very respectable group. And I don't know, you could not tell me and me remember what all the rules are for that class. You're just going to check the rule book, but there's a lot of them. But it's a really period correct, cool class. And if that's your jam, we got something for you. Mm-hmm. And then now we're also adding on the Nostalgia Gassers, which is straight axle car, 8th mile on tenths, right?
It's on tenths,
yeah,
right?
On tenths. So, and they range anywhere. I don't know if there's a speed limit to them or not. I haven't seen the rules. There's
no speed limit.
Okay.
It's by the way, it's 8th mile. They're the only class we have running 8th mile.
Yep.
And they will be running on every 10th. They got to dial in.
Yep.
And it's pretty straightforward.
I'm sure we'll have Shane on here to discuss. We've had him on before, but to discuss the new class and his set of rules that you guys are going to run by. But essentially, it's very grassroots. No electronics. You can't even have a 2-step.
Yeah.
So you better leave off the converter, and it's on tenths. So that's going to be interesting to see the progression of that class. I'm hoping to run out right out of the gate real big, biggest class. But we know how this works. It may be a little bit slow at the front half and then pick up towards the end.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the lowdown of all the classes of Nostalgia Drag Racing League. And we usually run a 6 race series. And we are in the area of Indianapolis is where the home base is. So what is our go-to move as far as trying to find tracks as far as distance from Indy type of thing?
If you look at Indy and you put a 6-hour circle around it, that's kind of where we go.
Okay.
So if you take Indy, it's kind of like so St. Louis is right now our farthest west race that we have, and then we've raced a lot in Norwalk in the past, and if you look at Columbus and Norwalk and those tracks up there, 42 and those areas, those are from St. Louis. So if you look at across the whole board, they're 9.5 hours. It's a 10-hour track, and I happen to be in St. Louis, so that's my furthest race when I go over to Columbus or somewhere. To give another example, like if I go down to Bowling Green, it's 5.5 hours, and that's including a fuel stops and stuff like that. But it's so yeah, the idea is probably 5-6 hours around Indy, kind of puts the map.
Yep.
And that really takes into consideration that we're a 1 month event. We race one time a month from May to October. And people have other things to do, whether they have a weekend house or a lake they go to, or who knows what they do. That's kind of why we don't add more races to it, because there is other parts of life that people enjoy. Mm-hmm. And so we got other guys that race every weekend. Either they're racing in NDRL or they're racing in their other car in another program. So it's all over the board, but it seems to fit. And then for budget reasons, we got people that, we try to make that Indianapolis that center hub, and then we circle around it, and travels, we try to base travel off of that.
And that's not to say that if you're not from Texas, you can't join in too, because we got some people from Texas that come up and make every single race. So,
oh yeah, and we've had people that were out of New York coming here and racing with us.
Canada,
Yeah, Canada. Bob, he comes down all the time, and he's tough. He's in the pro gas class, and that guy travels. Traveling on him doesn't matter. He just wants to come race. You got to watch out for that guy.
I think that's a kind of a testament to how cool this group is, that people would be willing to travel that far to come race with us, because arguably there's nothing really like it. With what we offer, there's nothing really like it going on right now. I mean, everybody's got maybe something that your car could fit into, but nothing that's like nostalgia specific event like we're doing.
Right.
I think probably in California, maybe they got stuff over there, but in this region anyway, there's just not really a traveling circus, so to say, like we got.
Right.
So
back, I remember this back in 2010 when this organization started. Part of it was it has to stay family oriented, and it definitely is. I mean, because 50% of the event is racing, and 50% is hanging out with your friends.
Yes.
And we call them NDRL family members.
Mm-hmm.
And it's as almost important as barbecuing with your friends as it is racing that day.
Yeah.
I always make the joke saying I'm going to go camping and a racing breaks out.
Yes.
A race breaks out, because that's essentially. I mean, you're nail head situation right there. You exactly right. We come to race, we come to be competitive, and there's a ton of people that are very competitive. But when you take the racing suit off, the fun happens, and the enjoyment of your brothers in the racing field, we just hang out, listen to music, drink a few beers or whatever, and it's a very fun atmosphere, safe atmosphere as well. We don't let riffraff just come through there. I have never worried about any of my equipment ever getting injured, damaged, stolen. We usually leave everything out, for a lot of it anyway.
Now you got to worry.
Yeah, now
you just told everybody.
But it's a great environment to be around, and I highly recommend it for anybody that's interested or has a car to come join. Have a good time with us.
What I hear from new racers that haven't experienced NDRL. And they're coming in and racing. Who know? And whatever program they were racing in before, I don't know what that was. But the point is, they're like the NDRL. All the racers will help the other racer
to their detriment. Yeah,
absolutely. And if they're going to miss a round to get you going, they're probably going to miss a round just to get you on.
Or they'll just give you their whole car.
It's happened.
Well, we had a guy that did that last year, and he ended up winning the championship with the other guy's car.
Yeah,
cool.
It's really cool, and 100% where everybody is there to have a good time, be competitive, but they're also they're really like brothers and sisters. We're like a big family, like you said. If you needed anything, we'll help you. It's great. I'm spoiled because I know because it's me. I've never raced with another organization, so it's hard for me to compare it to anything to. But I would say that it's going to be hard to compare anything to this and it'd be just as good.
Yeah.
I can't imagine there'll be anything better than this. I'm not a grass is greener type of guy or nothing like that, but it's so good. It's a fantastic group of people.
For me, it's I hear stories about all the other bigger organizations, and it's kind of like one of those mega churches where you kind of just a person in the pew.
Yeah.
In the NDRL family, we know each other.
Yeah.
I mean, we're 350 drivers strong or whatever the number is, but we know every one of us, and we hang out with them. I don't feel like I'm just a person sitting in the pew. I feel like I'm actually important in the NDRL, and that's important.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about numbers there. Let me give you a few numbers. In 2021, now keep in mind we had 5 classes. In 2021, let me get my note here. We had 526 racers. Well, that's meaning 526 racers for the year.
Right.
Okay. In 2022, we had 501. It went down a little bit. 2023, it went to 633. 2024, it went to 662. And in 2025, with 6 classes, we went to 918.
Holy cow.
Now, keep in mind that NSS class, as Corey was talking about earlier, they bring a lot to the table.
Yes.
And so those numbers have gone from 662 to 918. And a lot of that, ain't 100% of that jump is not 100% NSS, but probably 80% of that is.
Well, and I know ProGas has grown, you know, by a little bit of numbers. And we not only have we've grown because, you know, they pulled modified production from us and we're still at the same numbers. So just by that catching up, we've grown. The whole thing has grown. And but like what Chris was saying, it hasn't outgrown the family atmosphere.
Yeah.
You know, I don't say I'm necessarily worried about that because I don't think that what we're doing will ever outgrow that, because you're always going to have, you know, little cliques of families type of things. But, you know, what we provide is the numbers matter, but I don't think that big 900 number you threw out there kind of a little scary, a little big church vibes.
Oh,
you
and
know,
it's going to grow again.
Yeah.
Once that gastric class kicks on,
I bet we'll see
we're
going
to be
there.
Yeah, it's gonna jump over another, up over 1,000 for obviously next year.
Yeah.
So
what does it take? We were talking about the classes and everything. So what does it take to be a member of the NDRL? If I was a racer that, hey, I've got a 65 Mustang in my garage. I know it does 11 seconds, let's say. It's pretty much stock, except, I built the motor up. I wanted to go try the drag strip out one time. What would it take for a racer to have to do that?
Yeah, so depending on how fast his car is, but just look at it like this. If you go to your local track and you look at how the car has to be teched using NHRA rules, how it has to be, and that's what we use. Okay, so if you use those rules, and certain speeds, things change, but wherever that fits, if you're abiding by those rules, the NHRA style, then you're fitting in with our program, and that's just that. It's pretty that simple. And to become a member, let me make this clear, because there is a misexception out there for racers that might only race with us at 2 events and not all 6, and it's probably because it's geographical. And it's like, okay, I'm going to go to this one and this one because they're close to me. And then there's other people that don't come and do the same thing that guy does because they think they have to be a member to race with us. Okay, you don't have to be a member to be an NDRL racer. You have to be a member to be an NDRL racer, and you want to play the points program and all the perks that it takes to do that and become the champion of the class, and we pay back 5 places and all that good stuff at the annual meeting. And so the moral of the story is you want to be you're going to look at the whole program, then you want to be a member for sure. If you want to just come and play at 1 event or 2 events or 3, you don't have to be a member. But of course,
you don't have to. But
we want you to be a member to support us.
Yeah,
and that brings me to what NDRL is. It's a 501c3. Okay, it's a nonprofit organization, meaning, I'll give you the total meaning. It's almost all volunteer. You're looking at the president here, and I make 0 money. Okay, it's all volunteer. It's all just good of the heart, and pretty much everybody is except for our race director. And because he's got a big piece on his plate on each race, we pay his expenses. And so besides that, it's a 100% volunteer program. So
yep, and that shows through. It really does. The amount of passion that it takes to do something for free, and it's a lot of work. Yeah, everybody knows it's a lot of work to try to put on something this big. So from a racer, I really appreciate everything you're doing. It takes a lot. Let's touch quickly on some of the benefits of membership. From all of it, if you as much as you can announce, I'm sure there's going to be some we forget. But what kind of benefits do you get as being a member?
Well, first off, if the stuff that we give you in the membership when you become a member for $125, we're going to give you probably back in, banners, T-shirts, stickers, paraphernalia that we give you. Okay. And you get a dinner at our awards banquet. It's just about wiping that $125 out.
Mm-hmm.
So, if we're making $5-10, I'd be surprised. I'd really be surprised. But, where that really comes into play is, everybody becomes a member, because, their heart's in it. And then that's what gives us, things like we get to go to the PRI show and makes, everybody see us, and we can pay for the tent, and we can help. We got sponsors for that as well. But the moral of the story is it's all going into a pool to just be on the surface and be in front of people.
Yep.
And going back to what you were saying.
Yep.
Becoming a member, you get to be, pick your class, you get that. We're going to give you, the membership banner. We're going to give you the T-shirts. We're going to give you the dinner at the banquet. So that's pretty much what the member is. Then you get queued in to where you're going to see all the reports on where you are in points. And, every race, every moment after a race, as soon as we can, we're posting all that stuff. And everything is really followed on. If you're following NDRL, you certainly can go out to the website. And on that website is our Facebook page. And our Facebook page is really where we put a lot of the information to follow NDRL. Mm-hmm. And, there's several NDRL Facebook pages out there. So you got to make sure you're following the main one. There's one out there for modified production. There's one out there for Nostalgia Superstock. There's a closed one for Pro Gas. You have to be a member to get into that one.
Exclusive club.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
But the moral of the story is I see people go, "Hey, I'm following you, but I didn't see this." Well, they're probably on Modified Productions one, and I'm not dishing that, but we don't put all of our information from the grand umbrella, in that post. So you definitely want to be on the main Nostalgia Drag Racing League Facebook page. That's the one that is on the website, which, by the way, our website is updated and new.
Yep.
And matter of fact, those two guys right there.
It's actually going to get even better very, very soon, too. There's going to be a lot of added stuff that's going to give you even more information that you so desire. Quickly on a couple things that membership buys you as well is number one qualifier. If you are the number one qualifier, you get $150 in your class.
Absolutely.
So that you have to be a member to have that. What are some other things? Because I know there's a few. This year there was a big giveaway for one member that went to every single event. They went to Vegas. This guy over here won it. And that's fair and square. I opened the bag afterwards just to be sure that it wasn't just Chris Crady and all of them.
And I do want to say that we have to absolutely recognize who put that on. And that was Walker Products. And you want to say something about them, Butch, because, they are the one that gave us that trip, gave the NDRL to give away. And, of course, I won it. But it was the most amazing trip for me. And we'll get on to that on another time. But Walker Products is the one that did that for us. And I know you have a close relationship with them. Could you tell us a little bit about them?
Walker Products has been one of my customers and they're my friends. But prior to that, many years ago, I've been doing marketing for them up until even still things are going on today. But, they are back in the day, Walker Products was just the guy that made carburetor kits. And they made pretty much almost everybody's carburetor kit. So the kit just went into a different box. Whoever brand it was, you were using Walker's product. There was another company that did that, but they've phased out of the business. Matter of fact, they've all phased out of the business, and Walker is the last standing company making any carburetor kit there is out there. So, if it's a Holly green, blue, red gasket, they're making them for Holly. They're making all the kits, all the little pieces, and all the little machined items, and the needles and seats, and you name it. They make all that stuff. And they're just good people, and they're aggressive, here lately, and their marketing is changing. And I asked them, hey, why don't you get involved with NDRL? And and so they did, and I think they had a great time with it. And matter of fact, I'm reaching out to them tomorrow again. I got some dialogue going with me and the president right now to say, hey, you coming back again next year? And my fingers are crossed. I'll announce that when it happens.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe this is old news because this is airing right after the awards banquet.
Yeah.
Maybe I know the answer, but I don't.
Well, this. If it sweetens the deal, we can have him on the podcast.
Yeah.
He gets to talk about his products. Part of the podcast, the reason for doing this is so that we can honor some of our sponsors. Give them a good segment here. Maybe bring some of people on to be able to talk on it. Just free publicity for them. Not free because they're sponsoring us, but it gives them added value to what they're doing. So thank you.
I think that's a big plus we need to do.
Yep. And we want to thank Walker Products again for that trip. And Chris especially wants to thank them for paying his way to Vegas.
Yeah.
So Chris, what all did they give you? They give you airfare?
Hotel, airfare, and $500 cash. It was beautiful.
Did you bet it on black?
I lost my butt. Mary did spend $20 on a slot machine and won $593. So
it was convenient that you got your winnings from trails like a week before you left.
Yeah, I know.
I was thinking the whole time he's going to lose it all. He's going to lose it all.
I was okay. I wasn't too bad.
All right. Well, so
when you're in Vegas, you need that Uber to come pick you up. So that $500.
Exactly.
100%.
Yeah.
It was really cool of them to do that. So that's a benefit too that we offered last year, and there's probably several others. You've already mentioned the banquet. Again, just buying your membership. If you just get your T-shirt and you come join us at a fun banquet, you've pretty much got your money back.
Yeah.
And then anything else is an added bonus.
Yeah.
So there's other things.
Don't forget, we get a marathon. We give you a marathon card if you're in the winner's circle. We give you a coupon for JR1 oil.
Yeah.
It's I can't remember the exact number, but $100 worth of oil or something like that. And it's not any cheesy thing.
Sunoco gave some fuel, it looks like.
Yeah, Sunoco fuel.
Yeah, so you see that? Yeah, that picture right back there. You won that, I think, at National Trail, Chris, there. And yeah, Sunoco gives you a 5-gallon pallet of your type of fuel that you run.
Right.
And so things like that just keep getting added, and there's more to it. And that, here again, I'm repeating myself, but that's why we're throwing in this nostalgia gasser class, because we want these guys to be part of that too.
Yeah, 100%. There's a lot of them that wanted to do it, wanted to be a part, and now we're making it happen.
Yeah.
So we're super excited about that. So those are the kind of benefits that you get by being a member, and you should. Even if you just race with us once, again, if you just come to the banquet, you've paid it your way in, and what you're really doing is you're supporting to have a place to race for you, because there's a lot of, especially our faster cars, the 7.0, 750 cars, there's a lot of those cars that can't do well somewhere else. It's not meant for a bracket race type of thing. So they're kind of pigeonholed into one area, and we need to, as a group, we need to support everybody. It's a good thing, and I highly suggest if you just want to consider it a donation, consider it a donation. It's $125. It ain't nothing really. Especially when you talk about some of the prices of these cars. Yeah. We saw your stacker pull in here. You got $125.
Well, and half of that is the associate member, and I mean half price of that. Yeah. And that we get a lot of people. They're being associate member. They get the perks. They get a shirt too, and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So, it's a good deal on that side of it. We're not making any money, trust me.
Yeah.
It's a value. It's a very heavily valued membership. Honestly, I think the membership should be more money, to be quite honest. But it's cool that you guys have kept it down to a very minimal cost. It's part of the reason that this group is great.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So we've kind of talked about the classes. Oh, you got something?
Well, I was just going to say, while we're talking about sponsors and we were talking about Walker, and we talked about Sunoco, what are some of the other sponsors that sponsor? We don't have to go into every one of them, but some of the sponsors that help NDRL keep going.
Well, what we have class sponsors. Okay, so each class that's out there, there's a particular sponsor for that particular class. And like Pro Comp, it's Phoenix Performance Plumbing. Phoenix, they got They have people have probably bought it and didn't even know that what the product was. But if you look closely, you can find the little Phoenix emblem on it and maybe the branding. But Phoenix, they take care of pro comp. We've got Performance Automotive in Bethalto, Illinois. Those are engine builder guys, and they do nothing but race stuff, and they take care of pro gas class. We have A&A Transmissions. Those guys do the NSS, the Nostalgia Superstock class. And then we got Liberty Gears. This makes sense for modified production. Those guys are shifting, and those guys make some pretty cool, transmission gear stuff. Pro 7.5 is Alki Digger. And if you're running a Pro 7.5 or a Pro 7.0 car, you definitely know who Alki Digger is.
Absolutely.
All kinds of nostalgia fuel injection stuff.
You mean these guys?
Stuff.
Oh, yeah. Here you go.
And then Pro 7.0 is Ross Racing Engines, and he races with us in that class as well. And he's got a really cool hot rod that he puts down the track at, in 7 seconds.
Yeah.
But beyond that, we've got we've got our main sponsor, Larice Motorsports Insurance, and it's the best motorsports insurance there is on the planet, and they're part of us. We've got Power Masters, Cohen Transmissions, Atco Golf Carts, ET Genie, ATI, JR1. We talked about them a little bit ago. Indy Cylinder Heads, Mosier Engineering, Richards Engines. We've got excess batteries. If you've running 16 volt or whatever you're running, excess batteries has got that. They're all over that industry. Hoosier Racing Tires, PAI Industries, heavy duty guys, Fast Eddie's Deli, Ross Racing. We talked about that. SRI, Firecore, a few more here. Richard Cylinder Heads. Get this one, Byerly Builders. They're in Maine. Byerly Builders. They build the best, the coolest homes, custom homes and buildings, mainly real high-end homes. And the guy just loves drag racing so much, he sponsors us every year.
Wow.
And he might come to one race in Bowling Green. They've got a race car. They don't race it anywhere but in Bowling Green with us. And beyond that, the guy just says, I just have to keep sponsoring it because it's just a cool organization.
That's awesome.
And we got hotheads, competition products, DRE engine diapers, and we also got Stroud and Hillary Mustangs, and we got Hoosier Gear, we got Liberty Gear. We talked about that, and Schaefer Lubricants was a new one this year. Schaefer Oil, Schaefer Lubricants. It's an amazing product. I run it in my race car, and they came in and sponsored the entire race for the Bowling Green event, and so they're new to the industry, and hopefully we'll not to the industry, and new to NDRL, and hopefully they'll re-up again for 26.
Yeah,
working on that. So we got PRI coming up pretty soon, so we'll be working on all that stuff.
That's awesome. That is really cool.
Don't forget about Chuckaburger, whatever that was in St. Louis.
Yeah, good old Chuckaburger.
Yeah.
Well,
Ron.
Going back to Larice. Now, this is a pretty big deal. They have 2 awards they would give racers. I know the one is the best package for the weekend, for the race weekend, and that's what, $250?
$250. If you have the best time and the best closest to your number, just the best overall competition, in the stats, they're going to give you $250. And
the big one is. Go ahead. Yeah,
so that one's the perfect package. If you put a 000 reaction time down and you put a perfect ET, whatever your ET is, then they're going to give you $1,000. And here's the deal: if that $1,000 does not get won at let's say the first race, and let's say we're on the 4th race, that now bogey, it's $4,000 to win that. So every race that just keeps adding $1,000.
Then that's a hard thing. That is a very hard thing to do. And
super hard.
Last year, for the very first time, I got a trip zip reaction time, and then I did it the next race too. Only 2 times in my life. you can get a trip zip, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, as a green or as a red,
Yes,
right?
yes. Well,
Oh, yeah.
well, it goes to 4 numbers.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's almost near impossible. I mean,
Yeah, trip zip. I mean, you're just a bad red light as
Yeah.
far as I'm concerned. I think you should be set up at 4.
Yeah.
It's,
So-
or teen at most. But
so we've done this for 2 years now, correct, Butch? Where they've sponsored that and no one's won it, right? So by the end of
I mean, the 250 obviously
every
won
every
time.
race, yeah.
but both
But
years,
for 2 years they have not won that bogey. So
And- the last race, the pot was $6,000, right? On both
That's
times.
correct.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a big amount to win.
Yeah, it is. It is. I'd hate to
they're
have to
definitely
claim on
rolled the
taxes.
dice on that, and I get it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Well,
And,
they've rolled black 2 years in a row. They could get the same buyout. They could get the same purchase power if they do a third year for less money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they didn't have to pay the last 2. So yeah, it's
you
really
never know.
cool.
It definitely could happen. Another company that we added this year and who is now part of the NDRL. And matter of fact, for the next 3 years, they're Jason Deach. I'm probably messing that name up.
Trailer sales.
The official trailer company of NDRL. They're trailer sales, and they're amazing. They were with NMCA, and of course that's where we got the Nostalgia Superstock class from when NMCA dissolved. We picked that up, and then we picked up this sponsor here with the trailer sales.
Nice.
So we're that's another person that we're going to get on your episode and talk to those guys.
100%. That'd be cool. Any of those sponsors, anybody that supports the NDRL, you're more than welcome to come on here and talk about your product or your service, and we'll have a good chat with you.
Oh,
So that's
yeah.
part of what we're trying to do here, just to make sure that you to add a little more value to your sponsorship.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. All right. So we went through what we're racing, what the benefits are. Anything else we need to talk about, Butch?
I got actually a question for you, Butch, before you go into
All right.
something else. This may be a little hot topic. I've read it off the press here recently, and me and Corey talked about it here just a little bit. It's my understanding that IHRA is wanting to go to all 8th mile. Is there any possibility that NDRL will have to do the same thing in the future?
We've been rumbling about. Well, first off, let's talk about IHRA, then we'll go talk about NDRL. IHRA is going to 8th mile, and this is my guess, but I've got calls in to find out exactly the real answer. And I think the real answer is insurance. Okay, insurance is way different in a 8th mile versus a 1,000-foot or all the way to quarter mile. So I have a feeling that's part of what's going on. And the other side of that, it's much easier on parts too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably weighs a little factor in there. So IHRA is throwing a lot of big money, at the purses and all that good stuff. So they're not going anywhere away anywhere. They're going up,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to continue to work with them on their tracks and continue to be a partner with them. So just like we are with NHRA, So now NDRL. Has NDRL done any 8th mile races? No, they've done some non-points races. Because something got rained out somewhere, and then everybody shifted in the country and went to another track, and it might have been an 8th mile track. It wasn't an organized NDRL event, but it was just fun to have some stuff there. Now, as tracks are being harder and harder to find in the quarter mile world, and and the geographically and all that good stuff that fits our mold. Will we be running 8th mile someday? Someday. I don't know when that day will be, but we're going to have to probably intermix it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to have to happen at some point. I don't know when that will be, but right now we're going to hold off as long as we can for the quarter mile stuff until the pendulum starts waving and more 8th mile track stuff's going on and everybody's setting their cars up more for 8th mile. Because if we did 8th mile right now mixed in with our 6-race program, and let's say the 4th race was an 8th mile race, just making that up. And if it was, we would want people to leave their car set up for the quarter mile, just run 8th mile in that particular one. And we'll put the times and the indexes where they need to be for that. And so moral of the story is you got to wait and see. Do we have any in the near future for 8th mile? No. Do we have eighth mile on quarter mile tracks within NDRL for 26? Yeah, sure do. We got the new class, Nostalgia Gasser. So, that's probably for the first time, NDRL is now going to have an eighth mile class. So here we go.
You got to adapt or die. I mean, you got to do what you got to do to make the program successful. I would like to see eighth mile just because I like eighth mile racing, but I do value quarter mile racing for the nostalgic aspect of it all. So I like them both. I prefer quarter probably, but I do like eighth. So it goes either way for me. What about you?
I like them both. I haven't done a lot of eighth mile, but I think that it has its merits. Yeah. Your finish line comes a lot faster.
Yeah.
So you don't have, for a 9-second car or a 10-second car, the last you have, 2 or 3 seconds at the end there, you can kind of make a game plan if you didn't make it before you even left the line. But you have some buffer zone there. With the eighth mile, you're already at the finish line before you have time to think.
And it's so much easier on parts though. Yeah, that's the only big thing. What about you, Butch? What do you prefer, either one?
My heavy Studebaker likes quarter mile because it starts coming on at the eighth mile pretty hard. And pretty much every car that I race in my category. And, I'm usually about 10 mile an hour faster than most of them because my car's moving along at that point where, I got to get my 3,400 pounds moving at the front end. It's just not set up for eighth mile. Now, could I change that? Change a set of gears, pick it up, shift points change, all that? Sure, no problem.
Yeah.
I always seem to have most of my engine problems right at the quarter mile.
So you want to do 1,000 mile racing then?
1,000 foot
or 1,000 foot method.
Yeah, exactly. No, if I hear a little when I turn the engine off and I click the fuel off and the engine off, and I hear a little blah, 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 it's usually not good.
Yeah.
Interesting story because just chit chatting at this point. I've been helping Robbie Friels out, and at the end of the track, I've never been at the end of the track when the fast cars go. So I've never been down there, and I went down there to help pick them up. And I didn't realize it smells like everything is blown up and on fire. When you get down there, it's like everything's popping and making noises. All the brake smell from them hitting the brakes so hard. It literally smells like everything is blown up and on fire. It's wild that how much effort it takes to even go 7 flat. So,
well, Butch, what about if we give you rapid fire questions here? 10 questions, rapid fire. What do you think?
Here we go.
You on for it? I already know the answers to some of these, but all right, here we go. Ford or Chevy?
Me, Chevy.
Favorite power adder?
Supercharger.
Okay. Favorite muscle car?
Chevelle.
Alcohol or gas?
Alcohol.
Big tire, small tire?
Big tire.
Pro tree, sportsman tree?
Sportsman tree.
Really?
Wow.
Trans brake or foot brake?
I'm a foot brake.
Yeah, you are.
I don't think you have a choice. Eighth mile or quarter mile?
Quarter mile.
All right. RV or hotel while you're racing?
I'm hanging out in my Hilton, which is my trailer.
And your favorite YouTube channel?
Oh man, favorite YouTube channel right now? It's a lot of grandkid stuff. So
okay.
Hint, little cartoons.
Hint: LineLocked.
Yeah.
All right. Well, fantastic. But, man, we appreciate you coming on and giving us the opportunity to do this for the NDRL. We're looking forward to it. And I'm sure we'll have you on again when some hot button topic comes up that we need some answers to.
So I got a rapid fire questions for you guys.
Oh, no. Okay.
All right. You ready?
Yep.
I'm making them up as we go. So how often are you going to do one of these?
We are planning on doing it once or twice a month.
Twice a month
is going to be a good, and maybe some more, maybe some less.
All right. That's the only question I had.
That was a good rapid fire.
You only had one bullet, huh?
Yeah, the gun jammed.
I wanted to make sure you thought, there was more coming here.
No, we intend on doing twice a month. If we need no more, we'll do more. But I feel like it's a pretty good balance for how busy we are and what information we have, and to make everybody continue to be interested. So if we do have some extra people that we need to get some more out at the time, we'll do that. But we know we have at least 6 coming very soon for the all the champs. We're going to give them an opportunity to come on and tell us their story and how their season went. So I'm really looking forward to the Jeremy show.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one.
You're going to be staring the guy in the face the whole time.
That's going to be fun. Love you, Jeremy.
All right, Butch. Thank you so much again for coming on. And we're going to wrap it up on our end.
All right. Thanks for everything.
All right, man. See you. Wow, that was great, man. Love that guy.
Yeah, he's a fantastic dude.
He just became president the day or the year that I started racing.
Yep.
So I've only known him as the president of the NDRL. So great guy, great marketing. He's a marketing genius and great artist. And
artist, yeah. Comes out with really cool designs. That T-shirt with the 2 parachutes, the NDRL, that's my favorite T-shirt.
Yeah.
I don't own one. I need to buy one of those. Hopefully they have some left. I don't know. We're definitely
those
cool.
may be nostalgic.
Yeah,
because they're like old school.
Yeah, well, we need to bring them back. We need to retro them. That'd be cool. So what do we got to do to wrap this thing up?
All we're going to do is we're going to, like Corey was saying, is that we've got some champions we're going to be talking to throughout the year. We'll actually hit some topics about maybe stuff for your car, how to fix things on your car, and we'll just have some debates with some people. That's what we love doing. I think that we got a good thing going with the NDRL. I think if we, it's exclusive for them. Outsiders can listen, obviously, because it's a national thing.
Yeah.
But
we plan on pulling some big names in too. Hopefully, to be able to get some people in here that may broaden the horizon for the NDRL and us as well.
Yeah.
You are fake news.
Oh yeah. Okay. Sorry. So no. Anyways, I think we need to get out of here though. It's been almost an hour. I think. So.
I think it's a pretty good time.
All right, Maestro. I think you need to hit. What button do you hit? Oh, this one right here. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, it's been a while.
What do we even say at this point?
I thank you for watching.
Thank you for listening and watching. We have a YouTube channel. We got a .com website stuff.
We're on Buzzsprout.
Check us out next time. Sorry, guys. We'll catch you next time. Bye.
See you.